Hi, friends. This is Petty again. It's great to see you, sort of. I've been missing in action the last month or so because it's summer, and as parents of little children can testify, it's kind of an insane time for us. So, um, I have been busy, but it's been a good kind of busy, and I have some fun things to share with you that I thought you might enjoy. This is going to be my very first, hopefully monthly favorites video. And I am very much inspired by my friends Charlie and Nick, who do these every month, and they're just always so fun. So, in the spirit of just bringing more into the world of what I like to watch myself, here we are. So I have a book, I have a notebook thing to share, and then some beauty, skin kind of things that I'm also really into. So let's begin. So the book that I wanted to share with you, it's my favorite book of the past month, is the new Ayşegül Savaş short story collection. Um, the title of the collection is Long Distance, and it's my very first um, short story collection in a very, very long time. I typically read novels. I was a little bit nervous to pick this up, especially because I love Savage so much and I just did not want to be disappointed. But it ended up being my favorite book of the month. Her short stories are very much representative along the same lines of her novels. If you have read The Anthropologist or White on White or Walking on the Ceiling, you know her style. She's just very kind of um sweet and kind to her characters in a way that is very appealing and different for me from what we used to see in contemporary literature these days. I was talking to my husband about her work, and I was comparing it to Perfection, which I also read this past month and also enjoyed, but it's almost like kind of like the same book, but um like she is Savash is kind about it and like sweet about it, and other authors describing the same kind of human contemporary condition that we're all in, but they do so in cynicism and kind of like mock the characters and us, because of what we're like. So I really, really love this about her. It's like, um you know young people in their 20s and 30s, people who work in the arts, who are writers or creative people living in big cities. Maybe they have moved away from where they're originally from and going about, their lives trying to make meaning. And she's so amazing at diagnosing the disillusionment and the superficiality of some of our contemporary interactions, but she's also so empathetic towards her characters and just always kind of pointing to connection and friendship as the solution, like as the solution to our troubles. Anyway, it's a fantastic book. If you haven't read her novels, I think that reading the short story collection will give you a really great taste for what her writing style is like. And if you already read and loved her novels, like, you will love this. Highly recommend. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to show you is something that I talked a little bit about in my last video, and it's my little passport size paper Republic journal. I think that in my last video, I was telling you guys that I was going to be traveling and thinking about using it as a travel journal. And actually, that's exactly what I ended up doing. I took, instead of taking my planner and my boat and my journal and my book journal, my various things that I typically write on and about, I just brought this together with a set of like pencils and pens and just kind of teeny little things that I put in a pouch. But basically, I use this travel journal to kind of document my trip. Over the summer, we spent a week in Sardinia, and then we spent a week in Berlin. And the journal itself is just kind of a collection, like a logbook in a way, of just the things. I saw somebody describe that as like a captain book. Um, so some of it was just, this is what we did, this is where we ate, this is what I liked. Some of it was just um, illustrations that I did while just sitting at the beach. And some of it was book journaling. When I was reading the Savage book, for example, I kept notes on each one of the short stories just so that I wouldn't forget them. Here's a little my favorite page, which is a little drawing that I did of my kid. She was eating a tomato salad and was just cracking up because she was wearing her tomato t-shirt at the time, and I thought that was so sweet. So I drew a picture of it. Um, we spent a night in Brooklyn, so I just kind of wrote a little journal entry on the stationery from the hotel. And in general, I was just so happy to do this. It was incredible. I was kind of worried that I would be missing my other notebooks, or I would be too chaotic, or I would draw too much or not draw enough, all of that. Like, of course, um, all of those worries ended up being completely unnecessary. I just felt like it was a just such a sweet creative thing to do while traveling. And I also found that on days when I was just too tired from just like sitting at the beach and it was just like hot and um like it felt like too windy and sandy to be reading my book, I just really loved playing in this journal. um I really liked it. I think somebody asked me if I would continue doing this or keeping a creative journal like this as I go along. My honest answer is probably not, because even though it was just so much fun, it was more of a it was more of a thing than just like writing notes in my regular journal. So frankly, I don't think that in my current season in life I can maintain that practice on top of everything else that I already do. But I will definitely start a tradition of travel journaling. And I kind of love the idea of just having this sit on a shelf and then start accumulating a little archive of little travel journals as I go along. Okay, so that's my second thing. I have two more beauty things that I wanted to share. So, and I kind of apologize because these are expensive in my budget, but this is the Westman Atelier foundation. I don't know what it's called. It's a foundation stick, Vital Skin foundation stick. And this is also from Westman Atelier, the Baby Cheeks blush stick. The color of this one is bichette. And I picked this up right before my trip because I wanted to really minimize my packing for the trip. I wanted to have just a teeny tiny pouch with my makeup, and I wanted to have just products that could kind of multifunction and um hopefully not require brushes. So I thought like a foundation stick would be great. And also I thought that like a product like this that is technically for lips, but maybe I could use on my lips would work as well. These were both fantastic. At first I thought the foundation was a little bit thick when I first applied it, but then I realized that it's just so creamy and smooth that it was super easy to use. So for the places like, for example, like under my eyes where I just want a little bit more coverage because, I have dark circles, like I could put a little bit more in, kind of smudge it around. And then for the rest of my face, just like barely there and just kind of like put it in place a little bit with my fingers. I thought it was great. And like the packaging is so chic. The cap is magnetic, so it just kind of snaps in place like this, and it never opened in my makeup bag. It was really great. It is expensive. So I don't know if I will continue using it as my daily product, but for travel, I thought it was fantastic. Also, I've been putting it a lot in my work bag because that way I can just have it for touch ups during the day when I'm in the office if I need it without having to bring like, a jar and like a brush and the whole thing. For this color specifically, I wanted to point out that it is a really kind of pretty to me brick red color, and I used it on my cheeks um for that kind of like really like sunburn kind of look. And then I also used it on my lips, and I love it when your cheeks and your lips kind of coordinate like that. I thought it's just so simple and almost girlish, just um in a very kind of fresh way. It always reminds me, I'm 44 now, but it kind of reminds me of being in high school and having like zero makeup budget and like zero makeup skills and just trying to use um, whatever I had in multiple ways. So I really recommend it. It's a little bit dry on my lips. So I just make sure that like when I'm just doing my skincare, I put a lot of lip balm so that my lips feel really hydrated, and then I just use this as my lipstick. And the very last thing that I have that I wanted to share with you is a very recent discovery. It's this ROZ Air Thickening Spray, and it's a styling mist for texture and hold. I got this idea. I saw this mentioned by Melissa, who is one of my most favorite creators on the internet. I love everything that she shares. But anyway, she was saying that you just kind of like spray it in her hair and just like rough dry it, blow dry it. And it gave her a lot of like movement and volume. Look really cool on her. My hair is shorter, um, but I kind of felt the same way. Just like all I have been doing is just like get out of the shower, spray a little bit of this on my wet hair, and then just rough blow dry my hair and let it be. And for me, it's been perfect because it's like my hair needs some product for like so that it doesn't like fall flat, but also my hair is really fine, so I can't really use a lot of more textured things in it just like it feels too heavy otherwise and like too much, I don't know, like too much to deal with. um this is just, it feels like water in your hair. So it's not crunchy, it's not, you don't feel it in any way. But it just gives your hair a little something. Like my hair is just getting a little curl and like movement in a way that feels low key to me, but also kind of fun. So, because this is my very first video and I don't want to overwhelm with products and things, I'm gonna cut it short and let you go on with your day and go on with your life. Let me know if you have any questions about any of these things, if you want me to do more of these. Um, and tell me what were some of your favorite things that you used and saw and smelled during this lovely hot month of July. Talk to you guys soon.